Hey Adrian, welcome to GAC RMHC Golf Classic. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your address position, and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back in your setup, let's take a look at your posture. Spine's nice and straight and on a tilt, perhaps a little too much. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Arms hang down, nice and naturally off that tilted spine. Get your hands a little low and then working the golf club out to the ball there. So posture's pretty decent. I would revise that a little. If I were working on your golf game, I would get your spine to be up a little taller. Your legs are fine. I would keep them, as they are. Maybe not bend them as much, but we're talking hairs right there, so that's not a big deal. When we get your spine up a little bit more, we get your arms to still hang down, but we'd certainly try and keep your hands a lot higher, and then let the golf club work out to the ball from there. So we would take you from this red position, move you into a slightly taller position in your spine and your hands, and steepen out the club shaft. So what's happening here is that we're going to see that your address plane angle along the shaft of the club at address is sitting here, and it's about 35 degrees. But if we revised the position, your shaft plane would be sitting at about 38 degrees. So the original address plane angle would be a little bit more steep to begin with. Let's go ahead and clear this stuff off the screen. Next thing we want to observe has to do with alignment. I mean, your feet are very, very closed. I mean, you're dropping your left foot back considerably. So, I mean, theoretically, we've got your feet going way left. And the understanding is that at address, club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines on camera will have an appearance of converging. But even in that scenario, we can see based on that, I mean, you'd be set up way out here to the left. But what I can also, you're not actually doing that. So you're actually setting up at address, and your club face is closed and running more parallel to the actual intended target. So your club face is closed and actually running more out in this direction where we want to go. So there's a disconnect between your alignment and your club face. At that point in time, we can take a look at the rest of your body parts as they pertain to alignment here. We see that your knees obviously follow your feet, but then your hips are going less to the left. And then for sure, look at your arms. Your arms are going, if I lay an alignment tool on your forearms, they're going in that direction, as are your shoulders. So the problem is we're stacking our upper body quite open to our lower body, and there's just a big disconnect at address. Feet are going way left, club face is closed, knees are going way left, hips are going a little less left, and then the forearms and shoulders are wide open to the lower half. So we really do need to try and make sure that we set up where, we got the club face running at the target like it is, but then let's get the feet running parallel to the target. So bring your left foot forward and let's get your feet running in this direction parallel to your target line. That'll line the knees up. At that point in time, just close your shoulders and arms a bit so we get them all running in the same spot. So that does require some tweaking on your part, getting comfortable with, putting some alignment tools on the ground and then figuring out, the comfort zone of actually having your lower and your upper halves parallel to one another. So at this point in time, we can see that we definitely need some refining in the posture, get you taller, definitely need some refining in the alignment. Now, let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here between you and Jordan Spieth. We'll flip him over to left-handed to mirror image you. And so we can get a clear sense here how much taller he is. See his spine. We can also get a sense of how his feet, knees, hips, shoulders, and arms are all running in line with one another. So those are the things I was sort of talking about. Now, as we go ahead and take a look at the golf swing, we want to draw the golf club back by creating shoulder rotation, bring the arms and hands back as well as the club. Want the club coming back on plane directly along the red line. As we bring the club back a few feet, we've got to start incorporating some good wrist hinge into play, where we're going to transition the club head from having been below and in front of our hands to now being above and behind our hands. From here, we're going to work the club from red up towards the blue-yellow V zone. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, we want to have the right arm in the club situated either on the yellow line, anywhere between the blue-yellow V zone, or physically up on blue. At the same time, we want to have full shoulder rotation. We want to do this about a stable left leg, and we also create this rotation off of the posture we achieved at address and maintaining that axis. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to go ahead and I'm going to mark your spine where it started. I'm also going to mark your head, and we really want to just pay attention to the forehead and the chin. Okay? So here we go. We're going to initiate the takeaway. We draw the hands back, and look at how you pull your head up right away. So you draw your hands back, shoulders are turning, head pulls up, so you're obviously straightening your spine. Hands go way inside with the golf club and the club shaft. That's due to the fact that you're set up really close with your feet, so that's intuitively where the golf club wants to go. You start getting some wrist hinge into place, so things start to recover. Arms are really laying across your core, and you're really standing up out of the golf shot. So when we finally get to the top of the backswing, the first thing I really want to point out is your standing up move. Well, do you remember what I said? I said that basically I wanted you to be in a taller position to begin with. So what if we mark your spine right now? Whoop, wrong. Let's undo that. Let's mark your spine right now. We're sitting at about 66 degrees. So we've stood up from yellow to red. Well, didn't I tell you I wanted you taller at address anyways? So why not, in your address position, why not go from yellow to red to begin with, and you won't have to stand up out of position. Okay? Now, I don't want you that vertical at address, don't get me wrong, but at least now we got something to work on. When we rotate, we can maintain the axis and move and reduce any fluctuation up and down. Right now there's a ton of fluctuation up, out, and away from the golf ball. We also see when we get to the top of the backswing, there's a major overswing. So obviously shaft of the club gets way past parallel. The right arm is folding due to the fact that the left arm is compressing, meaning the triceps compressing to the bicep, and the whole bicep and tricep are working way behind your rib cage, and you're actually getting too much rotation. But you've got turn, stable left side, and I can see you've got athleticism. So I mean, you're going to probably come into this ball reasonably very good. But this up and down movement, I mean, we got to reduce unnecessary movement in a golf swing to have consistency. So we have to set that posture better, learn how to rotate off it, and reduce the amount of backswing that we're creating. I mean, it's just going to give you a lot more consistency. So from here, as we create our transition back into the ball, simply want to move our weight from our left to our right. Fire our knees and our hips to the target laterally. Unwind the core and fire the hands. And in doing so, we want to make sure we're bringing the club from wherever we set it in that blue-yellow V zone and bringing the golf club back to red. And that's exactly what we see here with Jordan Spieth. So his golf club has returned back to plane. The other thing we want to observe at this stage of the golf swing is a relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. I refer to this as the check mark position. Simply means the club head right now coming into impact, the club head is above and behind his hands. This is what's going to allow him to create a lot of power in his golf swing, let alone his ability to hit the ball straight due to the fact that the club has returned back to plane, as we already noted. And this is a main criteria that needs to exist in order to produce straight golf shots. So let's watch you create your transition back into the ball. So good motion. I mean, you're moving back to the right with your upper body. Your hands are firing. Your feet, knees are kicking in. So that's good. So actually, let's look at this position right here. Really love where you are. Like, I'd rather that be the top of your backswing. Okay? Anyways, let's continue to come on down. So doing a great job recovering that golf club and bringing it back into a good position. So let's look at this position right here. Basically, here's your lead forearm, and here's your club. So there's your backwards check mark. It looks awesome. So creating power in your golf swing is not going to be an issue. The other great thing is, look at how the golf club is returning back to plane. Now, if you remember, I had originally stated that I wanted to see the club shaft a little steeper at address. Well, imagine if that was the case. Guess where your golf club would be? well, it'd be a lot closer to being back on plane. Okay. Anyways, you're in a really good position pre-impact. Notice your spine is still pretty much on the red line, not yellow, so you haven't returned back to your original position. So where you are right now with your posture is the exact posture I want you to achieve at address, and notice where your head would be. Well, back in the box. So again, let's establish good angles to begin with, learn how to rotate on them, and reduce any up and down movement. And it's just going to make you a way more consistent ball striker. Anyways, let's keep on coming in the ball, knowing you're in a really good pre-impact position here. Let's track this club head, come in the golf shot, and see what it does. So let's go to the next frame. So it drops down to here. So if we connect the dots, very simply put, your club would have fallen onto plane right here, because I'm not going to look at the first red line that I drew, which was this one. Okay, it's irrelevant. It was too low. So your club actually returns to what's actually considered to be plane right there, and continues to track into the golf ball right from on plane. So the nice thing is, because your golf club's coming into the ball from a good swing plane, you have the ability to hit the ball straight. Well, what does that mean? Because now we've got to refer back to your alignment. Well, where was your alignment going? Well, we're not really sure. Your feet were going way left. Your upper body was going way right. It's disconnected. We don't know where you're aiming. So really what we got to do is we got to base it off the club face. Your club face was aimed at the target. So the nice thing is you're coming down on plane relative to your club face having been squared to the center of the fairway. So you should be able to produce a straight golf shot based on if you had a good grip. So let's just finish off with Jordan Spieth here. Club comes into the ball from the red line, just like you. We already know his alignment was good, so he now has the ability to hit a straight golf shot in accordance to that alignment. The only last thing that needs to happen here is club face just has to square up. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at your club face. Let's see what it does through the impact zone here. So club face definitely squares up. If it's squared up too much, it's going to go too far right. So the end result of the golf shot does come down to timing though. Obviously if we over release it, then obviously we're going to hit some kind of a draw or hook or pull draw or pull hook. Club face remains open. Well, it might hit a little butter fade. So your motion through to your finish looks awesome. But overall, just because of the fact that, you know, we set the posture inaccurately, we got a lot of motion up and down in the golf swing. The alignment's disconnected, feet going way left, upper body going way right. But the nice thing is club comes down on plane. If the club face squares up, we'll produce good golf shots. But if the club face over releases, it's going right. Under releases, it's going left. So it really comes down to a timing factor. And the reality is, I mean, your athletic ability and your downswing plane are phenomenal. So you're going to hit great golf shots at times. But like I said, if the timing's off, it's going to wreak a little havoc on your right to left tendencies. You know, master your alignment, master your posture, learn how to rotate off it, reduce the amount of backswing, continue with the same great downswing in association with perfect aim, make sure the grip's good, and you know what? You have a lot of potential to become a really good ball striker on a consistent basis. Anyways, if at any point in time you ever want to work on these aspects of your golf game, be happy to structure a program for you. I'm located over in Gladamy in Oakville. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all and you guys are looking for a unique gift to provide your guests, feel free to reach out. Be happy to discuss my swing analysis services with you. Anyways, hope you had a fantastic day, and I also hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Take care.